Hey YouTube, what's up? Welcome to a new video. Today I am doing my makeup for an Instagram video. I work for a studio called the Blush Parlor. A bunch of the girls who work at the studio with me are going to be coming together to create a video for Instagram called the Drop the Brush Challenge. I'm sure you guys have seen them. They've been going around a ton lately, but basically it's a drab to fab kind of situation. So I already filmed my before shot, like when I first woke up this morning before I did my hair and everything, and now I am gonna do my makeup, and then afterwards I'm gonna film my after shot. So I thought I would just film a video while I got ready, since I had to get ready today anyways. So the whole point of the video is to go from looking like super drab to super fab. So I'm gonna be doing like a full glam look, and I thought the biggest impact would be a red lip. So I'm gonna be basing my look off wearing a red lip. My favorite eyeshadow to wear like 10 years ago was, oh, what was it called? Baked. There were two, Baked and Half Baked from Urban Decay. They were little single gold shadows. I used to go through them and like go and repurchase and repurchase and repurchase. I just like loved gold eyeshadow. I stopped doing gold looks, I feel like forever. So I'm thinking today I'm gonna do a gold smoky eye with a red lip, which is kind of like classic glam. We had to come home. You can see I'm at home. I just realized it's a mess back there. So we came home to film this because I wanted to film it with my ring light and like be at my setup. And it's so much easier to film these like makeup videos at home than it is away. So yeah, I thought I would get a YouTube video out of it too. All right, so I'm just gonna prime my skin with a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. Feels amazing. I haven't been using Magic Cream every day because I haven't been doing my makeup. It just feels so good. I'm thinking I'm gonna start with my complexion. I'm gonna go back to an old favorite of mine. This is my Dior Forever foundation. This used to be my favorite foundation ever, like my favorite full coverage foundation. I have not used it in so long because it is such a light shade, and I've been tanned for quite a while now. This is definitely still too light for me, but I'm gonna mix in a little bit of my Magic foundation. This is in a much darker shade. I did my hair. I haven't used heat on my hair since quarantine began, so it's been a month of no heat on my hair. I figured like, why? What's the point of damaging it when like no one's gonna see me? So I'm kind of like loving having my hair done at the moment. Oh yeah, I love this foundation so much. Next, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of concealer. This is my Too Faced Born This Way, and I'm gonna conceal under my eyes, between my brows, a little bit on my chin, and buff that all out with my Beauty Blender. And then I'm gonna set that concealer in place with a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finishing Powder. And I'm gonna leave the rest of my face to set on its own without powder, because I want my skin to be pretty glowy. You guys know I love a glowy complexion, and the Dior foundation is quite a natural matte finish, so it doesn't need any extra powder. So I'm gonna start with a little bit of eyeshadow primer. This is my Laura Mercier eyeshadow primer in the color Flax. Yes, Flax. And because I no longer have nails, I can buff that out with my finger. And I'm gonna use a cream shadow today as a base as well. So this is called Bet. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is one of her Eyes to Mesmerize shadows. I love these guys so much. They're so nice on their own or as bases underneath powder shadows. This is such a beautiful, rich gold tone. We're gonna put this down all over the lid as a base. For my eyeshadow today, I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury Icon palette. I have been using my Natasha Denona and my Anastasia palettes a lot lately, which is good because I typically, when I'm working for Charlotte Tilbury, only wear Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow, so it was nice to take a break from it. but I definitely want to go ahead and use this guy today. There's lots of nice sort of goldy, bronzy shades in here, and I've been missing using this palette the past couple of weeks. I just want to start by putting a matte transition color in my crease, and there is not one in the Charlotte Tilbury palette, so I'm just going to take a little bit of the bronzer that I'm going to use on my face later on a fluffy brush. And I'm gonna go ahead and just pop that up above the crease of my eye and kind of pull it out towards the tail of my brow to enhance the shape of the shadow that I'm gonna create and just give the rest of the shadows something to transition into. So I'm just gonna start with sort of the lightest gold tone in the palette, which is this one right here. And I am going to add that to the very inner corner of my eye. Having that cream base down underneath really helps the rest of the shadows that I put on top pop. It helps them stand out, it gives them a base so they're more pigmented and they really have more of an effect, like more of a drama to them, which is definitely what we're going for today. I want that full glam. Shall we continue here? Yes, I'm gonna take this really bright yellowy gold right here, and I'm gonna take that from about halfway across my lid, kind of mix it together with that color I just put down, and bring it out towards the tail of the lid as well, the outer corner. To me, it doesn't get more classic glam than a gold eye with a red lip. Next, I'm gonna take this brown color in the palette, this matte dark brown, and I'm going to add this to the very outer corner of my eye. Then I'm gonna take this brush that's a little bit fluffier and just really lightly go over the edges to blend that out. But I don't want that color to go everywhere. I'm just being really soft and just really softly going over the top of it, just to slightly blend it in. The last color that I'm gonna use on my lid is this guy right here. We're gonna go in with a little bit of black. So I'm just gonna take that on a really small brush and I'm gonna put that right where I just put the brown shadow down, but because it's a smaller brush, the pigment won't be distributed as widely. And then again, just super, super softly blending out those edges. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some eyeliner. I'm gonna do a black winged liner with my Maybelline gel liner. I'm gonna do some mascara and put on some lashes, and then we will come back and play around a little bit more. Okay, so liner and lashes are on. I used quite a thick pair of lashes, really thick, that kind of flares out on the outer corners to really amplify that cat eye shape of my eye. I'm really trying to change the shape of my eye so that when I go from my job to fab, it's like a really dramatic difference. So yeah, I used a pair of lashes that I don't always love because of how thick they are, but I do notice that they really do change the shape of my eye, so I went for those ones. I'm gonna go ahead and do my lower lash line, and I'm gonna repeat the same gradient that I did on the top on the bottom. So I'm gonna start with the lightest gold, and I'm gonna put that on the inner corner of my lower lash line. Then I'm gonna go to that darker gold, and we're gonna put that more towards the middle. Can you guys see? We're gonna go more towards the middle of the lower lash line. Then I'm gonna take that dark brown and we're gonna put that on the outer corner and connect it with that dark gold color in the center. And then finally a touch of the black just on the very outer corner. And then to even out those lashes, I'm gonna put a bunch of mascara on my lower lashes as well, of course. And that's the eyes pretty much done. So I'm gonna go ahead and bronze my skin. I'm gonna use my Dior bronzer in the shade 001. I'm gonna do temples, a little bit at the top of the forehead. I'm gonna bring it down onto my cheeks. Try to keep it a little bit higher on my cheek. Always circular motions. And then I'm gonna bring this also onto my neck. And since we're going for a more dramatic look, we definitely have to contour. I'm gonna go with the contour shade in my Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look in a palette. It's the same color as the contour from her Film Star Bronze and Glow, but I've used mine all up, so I'm just using it out of that palette there. And I'm gonna go ahead and contour my cheeks, my jaw, And I'm gonna add a little bit of this to my temples as well, just to kind of deepen up that contour up there. And I think I'll add a little bit to the sides of my nose here as well. And let's pop a little bit under my lip. This is kind of the lazy girl's nose contour. All right, so I always like to wait and to do my brows until after I've done my bronzer, because my brows just end up getting moved around when I'm bronzing. So I'm gonna go ahead and really quickly fill in my brows here. I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury Brow Lift pencil, and then I'm gonna set them with my Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brow Gel. I've been playing around with doing my brows a little bit lighter recently. I was noticing in old photos that my brows look quite dark in a lot of them. I used to use a different shade. I used to use the shade Supermodel, and this is the shade Rita. It's 2 shades lighter. Even since I've switched to the lighter pencil, I've noticed that my brows look quite dark in some photos and videos and stuff. And I go through phases, like sometimes I want my brows to look really dark and bold and dramatic, and sometimes I'm really into that, but I guess right now I'm just into more of like a softer colored brow phase. It's kind of a struggle though, because I still want my brows to be really like fluffy and full, but I don't want them to be too dark. So I've just been focusing on being really light-handed with my pencil and just trying to fill in gaps with it, as opposed to like carving out a whole shape. And then yeah, going in with my brow gel. So I realized too that I forgot a part of my eyeshadow that I wanted to do. This is the Bella Sophia palette from Charlotte Tilbury. I wanted to take a little bit of this color right here. This is the pop shade, and add this to my eye look as well, because honestly, this is the prettiest sparkle, and I cannot do a gold smoky eye without adding this on top. So I'm just adding a little bit of that with my finger to add some sparkle to the look and just, again, intensify everything a little bit. I'm mostly keeping that on the center of the lid as opposed to bringing it all the way into the inner corner. I'm aiming to go on top of the darker gold shade with that. Okay, that's better. All right, we need to highlight. It is time. I'm gonna use my favorite highlighter. This is a palette from BH Cosmetics that they did in collaboration with Carly Bible. I believe this is discontinued. I'm gonna take this highlighter right here, and I'm gonna use that to give myself a beautiful glow. So we're gonna start with tops of the cheekbones. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit above my brow. I'm gonna put this on my Cupid's bow. And let's put a little bit on the tip of my nose, bridge of my nose. I'm gonna add a second layer on top of my cheekbones as well to really make them pop and glow. That has quite a dark base, so when I'm not super tan, I always like to just take a brush and blend it in so that it's not like a stripe on my face. And then with this brush right here, I'm also going to highlight my body. So let's do shoulders and collarbones. And should I add some to the rest of my chest as well? I think I will. Just really lightly go over the rest of my chest. All right, blush I want to be fairly neutral, so I'm gonna use the color Sex on Fire from Charlotte Tilbury. I love this blush with a red lip. And speaking of red lips, let's finish this bad boy up. So I'm gonna start with lip liner. This is Kiss and Tell. I always wear a lip liner. I'd say it's the most important with a red lip. If you want that clean line, you really need to use a lip liner. That way you can line your lips and then just fill in with the red lipstick like you're doing a coloring book. It's gonna give you a really nice clean looking red lip. I see a lot of people walking around with some pretty janky red lips, so you really wanna use a lip liner that's gonna help with that a ton. So my lower lip is fuller than my upper lip, so I always just follow my natural lip line on the bottom, and then I overdraw a little bit on the top. And I do have a few different favorite red lips. I love Ruby Woo from MAC. I love Scream Siren from Charlotte Tilbury, but today I want to use Red Carpet Red. This is one of her Matte Revolution lipsticks. I love this color, and I prefer a matte red lip to a glossy one. I think that's just a personal preference, but I also find that a matte red lip is better for long-term wear because you don't have to be as worried about it kind of fraying and like getting all over the place. It'll stay in place a little bit more. If you make a mistake with your lip line, or your red lipstick comes out of your lip line a little bit too much and it's looking a little bit sloppy, you can always take a little bit of concealer and just clean up the edges, but I think I got that pretty good first try. And that's it, you guys. That's the completed look. Loving having my hair done. It's been such a mess for like a whole month. It's so nice to have it styled. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up so that more people can see it too, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.